Good morning, my name's Joella. Thanks for joining me for some yoga this morning. We're going to get started on our backs in just a moment, so you can go ahead and lay down on your mat or wherever you have space and just start to get comfortable. Please make sure that you're listening to your body. If at any point during our practice today something doesn't feel right to you, please feel free to skip it. You can always take any modifications. I will cue some as we move through our practice. So with that being said, please make sure that you've checked with a healthcare provider before starting a new exercise routine. So let's go ahead and lay down to our mats if you haven't already. Your knees can be bent with your feet flat to the floor if that feels better in your body. Otherwise, you can extend them down your mat. Close your eyes if that feels right for you. And just take a few moments here to focus on your breath. Just notice how it feels in your body. And then just notice how your body's feeling this morning. Acknowledge anywhere that's maybe kind of tight, maybe a little sore. And just keep that in mind as we flow through our practice. Take a nice deep inhale through your nose. And exhale out your nose. Maybe allowing your breath to become a little deeper. Inhale through your nose. And exhale out your nose. One more time, in and out. This time inhaling for 5, 4, 3, 2. Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2. In 5, 4, 3, 2. Out 5, 4, 3, 2. Again, in 4, 3, 2. Out 5, 4, 3, 2. Last time, in 4, 3, 2. Out 5, 4, 3, 2. Breathe naturally. And now notice how this feels. Maybe you can breathe a little deeper. Maybe it feels exactly the same and you think I'm a little nuts. That's okay too. On your next inhale, go ahead, hug your knees into your chest. Gently rock from side to side here. Narcissa. All right, so extend your right leg down your mat for Ekapada Apanasana. So your left leg is still hugged in. And flex your foot so your knees and toes are pointing up to the sky. Your inner right thigh is wrapping in and down towards the floor. On your next inhale, hug your right leg in, extend your left. Same thing, so flexing your foot like you were standing on it. Toes and knees pointing up to the sky so that your leg's not turning out to the side. Inner left thigh pressing down towards the floor. Inhale, left knee in. Set both your feet down to the floor, about hips distance apart. Feet parallel to each other, so your heel right behind your second toe. Go ahead, grab on. No, wait, just kidding. Keep your hands by your side. We're going to exhale here. Inhale, press down into your feet and lift your hips up toward the sky. Taking your full inhale to get there. And then exhale, lowering your hips back down. Just flowing in and out of a bridge pose, nice and softly. Inhale, hips lift. Tailbone lengthens towards the backs of your knees as your front hip points lift up towards your low ribs. Exhale, lower down. Think of making space between your chin and your chest. Inhaling your hips up. Exhale, lower down. One more time. Inhale, hips lift. Exhale, lower down. Keeping your hips down. This time, inhaling your arms forward and up towards the sky. So palms facing together. And think of your triceps wrapping in. So this is an external rotation of your arms, but they're lifted up towards the ceiling. So your pinky side of your arm wrapping in. Inhale here. Exhale them overhead. just far enough that your spine stays neutral. We don't want to bring them back so far that you start to arch your back. Inhale, back up towards the sky, and exhale, back down toward your hips. We're going to flow with your arms now. Inhale, arms lift up and over. Exhale, lowering them back down to your sides. Inhale, arms up and over. Exhale, lowering them back down to your sides. Inhale, arms up and over. Exhale, back down to your sides. Now putting this together with our hips, we're going to inhale, press through our feet, lifting your hips up as your arms come up and over. Really lengthening your tailbone down, inner thighs spin down towards the floor. Exhale, everything comes down at the same time. So imagine those 5 count breaths that we had earlier. Is it taking you a full 5 counts to make these movements? Exhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Maybe you can go a little faster, a little slower, depending on your breath. We just want to make our movement match our breath, linking them together. Let's do one more wherever you are. We'll meet with our hips back down on the floor. Okay, so let's put our arms out like goalpost or to a T if you have room, and then bring your hips or your legs up to tabletop, knees right over top of your hips. We're going to inhale here and exhale, allow your knees to fall over to the left. Pausing here in a little twist. Keeping your right shoulder blade down on the floor. Inhale, knees back up through center. And exhale, allow them to fall over to the right gently so we're not just slamming them down to the floor. Breathing here. Again, this time your left shoulder is staying in contact with the floor. We're not letting it lift up. Inhale your knees back up through center. And now we're going to flow through this. So inhale here, exhale, knees twisting to the left, hovering over the floor by a couple inches. Inhale back up through center. Exhale over to the right. Inhale back up through center. Do this 5 times, so that was 1. Moving at your own pace. Shoulder blades staying in contact with the floor. Flowing with our breaths. Knees hovering an inch or 2 over the floor. Last time. Exhaling as you fall down to the side. Inhaling back up through center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale back up through center. And then just going to release your feet back down to the floor. You can release your hands down by your sides. Go ahead, extend your left leg down the floor. Hug your right knee in for Ekapada Apanasana again. This time we're going to come into a half happy baby, but I want you to pay attention to what your spine's doing. So you have 4 natural curves in your spine. So the back of your neck and your low back should be gently lifted off the floor, and your sacrum and tailbone should be down towards the floor, and your thoracic spine, the spines behind your ribs, should be down on the floor. So we want to maintain that as we lift our right heel up towards the ceiling and reach up and grab the outer edge of that right foot. And it might take some work to keep your low back from flattening out here, but we want to keep our pelvis neutral. So these hip points at the front of your body shouldn't be lifting up or pointed down. Inner left thigh spinning down towards the floor still, like we were standing on that leg. All right, and bring it back to Ekapada So hugging your right knee into your chest. Inhale, hug your left knee into your chest and extend the right. Ekapada on the other side. So inner right thigh spinning down. And again, paying attention to the curves of your spine. So is your low back still gently lifted up off the floor? Pelvis is neutral, so front hip points pointing up towards the sky, not lifting up or tilting down. All right, so hugging that knee in a little closer and then reaching up for the outer edge of your left foot like you were going to stand on the ceiling with your left foot. So ankle comes over knee. Now I know in my body I have to work really hard here to not let my low back flatten. So I'm really hugging my right inner thigh down and thinking of keeping my hips neutral. One more breath. Hugging your left knee back into your chest. Hug your right knee in. Let's extend your legs up towards the ceiling. And we're going to extend our hands down by our side. Inhale here, exhale, lifting your head, neck, shoulders up off the floor. We're going to inhale here, exhale, left leg lowers about an inch off the floor, and we're going to twist so that our arms come to the outer edge of our right leg. Inhale, chest, neck, head, shoulders lower down, left leg comes back up to the sky. Inhale here, exhale, twisting over to the left, right leg comes down to hover. Inhale down. Exhale, twisting to the right, left leg lowers. Inhale down. Exhale left. Inhale down. Still matching our movement to our breath here. Inhale to the right. Exhale, Inhale down. Exhale left. Inhale down. Exhale right. Inhale down. Exhale left. Inhale down. Let's do one more each side. Exhale, twisting to the right. Inhale down. Exhale left. Inhale down. Hug your knees into your chest. Begin to rock forward and back. And after 5 rocks or so, come up and over and we'll meet on all fours. You can also just sit up and spin your legs out to the side, whatever feels better for you. On all fours here, so wrists right underneath of our shoulders, wrist creases parallel or slightly turned out to the front edge of our mat. Knees directly under our hips and feet right behind our knees. We're going to inhale into our cow pose. Belly button drops, tailbone lifts, collarbone broadens as your shoulder blades gently squeeze together and press forward into your ribs. And exhale, belly button to spine, chin to chest, tailbone lengthening down towards the backs of your knees. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale back to a neutral spine. We're going to flow through this a little bit differently. So let's walk our knees back just like an inch. We're going to inhale forward forward so that our shoulders are hovering over, come forward slightly over our fingertips. Exhale, chaturanga arms. So outer upper arms still wrapping in. Exhale, or inhale, pressing it back up through all fours. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale up through all fours. Exhale, chaturanga on your knees. Collarbones broadening, gazes forward. Pressing it back up through all fours. Exhale, child's pose. Your own pace. Inhale through all fours. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, child's pose. So 3 more times. Inhale, exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, exhale, child's pose. Inhale through all fours, neutral spine. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, all fours. Exhale, child's pose. Last time. Outer upper arms wrap in as you chaturanga. Exhale, hips back. Pausing here in your child's pose for a moment. Pressing down through your hands, lifting up through your forearms. So your arms are engaged here. Outer upper arms, triceps wrapping in. Find that same external rotation we talked about when we were flowing through our bridge pose. Inhale up through all fours. Arms stay the same. Tucking your toes under, lifting your hips up, downward facing dog. So arms are shoulder distance apart, maybe slightly wider, still externally rotated. So triceps wrapping in, making space across your collarbone and your back. Your feet are about hips distance apart. A little bend in your knees, maybe a little more since we're just sort of starting to get moving and standing up. Lifting your hips up behind you. Breathing here. Making your spine nice and long. Pressing down through your hands, lifting up through your forearms. Thinking of like closing your armpits off almost. Inner thighs wrapping back. One more breath here. At the bottom of your exhale, walk your hands back to meet your feet, bending your knees as much as you need to, coming into a forward fold at the back of your mat. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, so lengthening your spine forward, thinking of both sides of your rib cage, reaching forward and the crown of your head forward, finding a neutral spine here. Exhale, forward fold. Again, inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, standing all the way up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Again, inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. One more time. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, walking your hands out to plank pose. So wrists right underneath the shoulders, balls of your feet down, or you can be on your knees here. but front hip points lifting up towards your low ribs so that we're not sticking our bum up in the air. Broadening through your collarbone, outer upper arm still wrapping in. Gently place your knees down to the floor. And then walk your hands back so that you're actually on all fours again. We're going to move your right foot out to the right, so you're making like a little kickstand for yourself, and then inhale, spinning open into a side plank with your bottom knee down here. So that right wrist is right underneath of our shoulder, pressing down through that hand, lifting up through our top hand and up through that right armpit. This left hip is staying right on top of our right, so you notice when your knee is down, you can't let it like fall backwards. And then engage that left leg, so lifting up on our quad. Exhale, coming back to all fours. Other side, so this time our left leg comes out like a little kickstand. Inhale, right hand up, coming to the inner edge of our right foot. Engaging that right leg, lifting it up out of that bottom hand, so lifting up through your armpit, up through your top hand. Exhale, right hand comes down to the floor. Stepping your hands back out, come back into a plank pose, tucking your toes under, lifting your hips up. Again, always an option to have your knees down here. Inhale here, hinge forward slightly, and exhale, chaturanga, lowering all the way down to the floor. Let's extend our arms down by our sides, palms facing in towards your hips. The first time we do this, let's press the tops of our feet down and lift your thighs up, lengthening your tailbone down and back. Exhale here, inhale, chest, shoulders, arms lift. Half Shavasana. Breathing here. Exhale, lower down. We're going to do it 2 more times, flowing. Option to keep your legs down, or you can lift them as well. Exhale here, inhale, chest, shoulders, arms lift. Inner thighs spinning in, so your toes and knees are pointing down towards the floor. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Bring your hands shoulder distance apart, so right underneath of your shoulders, and then walk them back so that your wrists are underneath of your elbows. We're going to do an upward facing dog with slight modification. So go ahead, tuck your toes under, press the balls of your feet down to the floor as you lift your thighs up and away from the floor, hugging your outer ankle in as you wrap your inner thighs up towards the ceiling and lengthen your tailbone down towards the backs of your knees. Exhale here, inhale, press through your hands, come into upward facing dog. So only the balls of your feet and your hands are on the floor. Thighs are lifted, front hip points lifting up towards your low ribs, broadening your collarbone, thinking of your sternum moving forward between your arms. One more breath here. Lifting from your inner thighs, hips up and back, downward facing dog. One more breath here. Bottom of your exhale, look towards your hands and walk your feet forward, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale right away, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, stepping back to plank pose, Chaturanga. Inhale, back bend cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pausing here for 3 breaths. Bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands, walk, step, maybe float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. 3 breaths. Bottom of your exhale, look towards your hands, walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Tadasana. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, stepping it back, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pause here. Pressing down through your hands, lifting up through your forearms, triceps wrapping in, closing off your armpits. Making space across your collarbone and your back evenly. Lifting your tailbone up behind you, almost to where like the wall and ceiling meet. As you think of lifting your inner thighs towards the wall behind you. Inhale your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, stepping your right foot forward to the inside of your right thumb. We're going to heel toe your right foot over to the midline, spinning your left heel down so that your knee, your whole leg, toes are pointing up towards the left side. Inhale, up, warrior two. Right knee right over top of that right ankle. Whole back legs engaged here. Think of lifting your front hip point up and away, that right hip point away from your right thigh bone so that we're not sinking into that, but lifting up. Tailbone lengthening down towards the floor. Arms can come out to a T. You can look out over your right fingertips if that feels right in your body. Holding here for 3 breaths. Inhale, reverse warrior, left hand to left leg. Front knee keeps right over top of that ankle. And exhale, hands come down to frame your right foot. Step it back, downward facing dog. Other side, inhale your left leg up, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, sit it down to the inside of that left leg. We're going to heel toe our left foot over to the midline. Spin your right heel down so that inner right thigh is reaching back. Coming up, warrior two. Shoulders right over top of our hips and squared towards the side of the room. Arms come out to a T. You can gaze out over your left fingertips if that feels right in your body. Lifting up from that inner left thigh so that your knee is pointing right over top of your second toe. One more breath. Inhale, reverse warrior, right hand to right leg. Stretching through your side body. Left knee stays right over top of your left ankle. Exhale, hands frame your left foot. Downward facing dog. One more breath. Inhale, shoulders come back over top of our wrist to a plank. Exhale here, inhale, spinning to the outer edge of your right foot, inner edge of your left foot, left hand comes up to the sky for side plank. So always an option to keep that bottom knee down. You can have your feet one in front of the other, both on the floor, or you can stack that top foot on top of your left. Making sure, just like earlier, that this left hip is staying over top of the right. We're not letting it fall back. Pressing down through your right hand. Exhale, back to plank. A breath here. And inhale, pressing down through your left hand, right hand reaches up to the sky. Keeping your hips stacked. You can stack your right foot over your left. Exhale, hands back down. Plank. Hips up and back, downward facing dog. One more breath here. Inhale, right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it through, coming to the inside of your right thumb. So this time, feet are gonna stay on railroad tracks. So they're hips distance apart, but spread out. Reaching back through your left heel, pressing down evenly through your front foot. Inhale, arms forward and up, high lunge. Maybe putting a little bend in that back knee so that you can lengthen your tailbone down so we're not risking our low back here. Arms nice and straight, still externally rotated, so our triceps wrapping in. Lifting your front hip points up and away from your thigh bones. Inhale here, exhale, hands come back behind you, so they're in extension, palms facing together, just like they were in our Shavasana earlier. And then reach forward through the crown of your head, bringing your weight a little more forward into that front foot. So you have a long line from the crown of your head back to your heel. Lifting up on that left thigh. One more breath. Exhale, hands come down to frame your left foot. Step it back, downward facing dog. One more breath here. Inhale your right or left leg up to the sky. Exhale, step it through to the inside of your left thumb. So again, feet are spread out here but on railroad tracks. Think of your thighs hugging in towards each other, lengthening your tailbone down towards that back heel, keeping that right leg nice and strong. Inhale your arms forward and up, little bend in the back knee. Breathing here. That front knee right over top of that front ankle. One more breath. And exhale, hands come down by your side, reaching them back behind you, making space across your collarbone, palms facing in, hinging forward, reaching back through that right heel, lifting up on that right thigh, reaching the crown of your head forward. It's a nice long line from the crown of your head to your back heel. One more breath here, outer hip hugging in. Exhale, hands down to the floor, stepping it back, downward facing dog. The bottom of your exhale, looking towards your hands. Walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Urdhva Hastasana. And exhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Feet are hips distance apart, knees right over top of our ankles, so they're not falling in or out. Pointing right over top of our second toes. Hip points looking up and away from our thigh bones. On your exhale, sweeping your arms back behind you. Maybe leaning forward a little bit. Outer hips hugging in, spine's long. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step it back, plank pose. Exhale, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Stepping your right foot forward. Inhale, high lunge. And exhale, stepping your right foot back, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Left side, left foot steps forward. Inhale, high lunge. Exhale, stepping your left foot back, Chaturanga. Inhale, Cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pausing here for 3 to 5 breaths. This is a good place to reconnect to your breath if you lost it while we were flowing there. One more breath. Inhale your
your right leg up and back, three-legged dog. Outer hips hugging in, right thigh spinning up towards the ceiling. Exhale, stepping your right foot forward. So we're going to heel toe our right foot to the midline and spin our left foot back. We're lined up heel to arch here. So you're going to think of lengthening your tailbone down to that back heel as you hug your right glute cheek in and open your left hand up to the sky. You can look up that top hand. So we're in side angle. Making space through both sides of our torso. You can bring your elbow up to your thigh if that feels better in your body. But we want our spine to be long. Exhale here, inhale, press down through the ball of your right foot and begin to straighten that right leg. Maybe it doesn't straighten all the way, that's fine. Keeping that outer right hip hugging in. Lifting up on your quads, on your quadriceps, the large muscles at the front of your thighs. One more breath here. Exhaling your leg back into side angle, so bending that front leg. Exhale, left hand comes back down to the floor in a low lunge. Stepping your foot back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. Lifting your right leg up and back, or left leg, excuse me, three-legged dog. So outer hips hugging in, left inner thigh reaching up to the sky. Exhale, stepping your left foot just to the inside of your left thumb. So slowly here so that we're properly externally rotating our leg. Heel toe your left foot to the midline. Spin your right heel down. So your right toes and right knee are pointing out towards the right side of your mat, and you're lifting from that inner right thigh. Lengthening your tailbone down towards your back heel and hugging this left glute cheek under. We're going to press through our left foot and open your right hand to the sky. So option to come all the way up, bringing your left elbow to your left knee, or you can keep it extended behind your leg here. Breathing here. One more breath. Pressing down through the ball of this left foot. Begin to straighten that left leg, lifting up on that left quadricep, coming into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Again, both sides of your rib cage reaching forward evenly so that our spine is long. One more breath here. Exhale, bending through that left knee. Bringing your right hand back down to the floor, popping that right heel back up. Step it back, downward facing dog. The bottom of your exhale, look towards your hands. Walk, step, or float your feet up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, arms forward and up, Utkatasana, chair pose, just for a moment. Inhale, staying all the way up. Exhale, hands to your side, Tadasana, mountain pose. Take a breath here. So we're gonna come into Relaxation, tree pose. Starting with your hands, let's start with our hands on our hips. Pressing down through your left foot, lifting up on your left quadricep. Inhale your right knee up to hip height, and then externally rotate your leg. So it doesn't mean to bring it out to the side, but to turn your leg in the hip socket so that your inner thigh is now pointing up to the sky. Hips stayed neutral here. Inhale here, exhale, now adduct your leg out to the right. Then bring your foot, maybe with the help of your hand, to your inner thigh. So your knee probably is not going to stick right out to the side. That's okay. It'll probably go forward a little bit. So pressing down through your left foot, lifting up through your left thigh, that left outer hip hugging in, hip points lifting up. Maybe you can inhale your arms up. Breathing here. Exhale your hands back down to your hips, coming out of it the same way we came in. So bringing your foot off your leg, bringing it back to the center, neutrally rotating that thigh bone, and then set your right foot down. So pressing down through your right foot, inhale your left leg up to hip height. So evenly pressing through all four sides of that right foot, lifting up on your right quad, outer right hip hugging in. We're gonna externally rotate our leg. So your thigh, like your inner ankles pointing up to the sky. Then adduct it out to the side. And then bring the sole of your foot to your inner thigh, maybe to your calf, or maybe just making a little kickstand out of your foot. So hips are still neutral here. So you didn't have one drop. Outer hip still hugging in to keep us from just pushing it out to the side. Inhale, arms up, tree pose, Shavasana. One more breath. Releasing your hands back down to your hip, coming out of it the same way we came in. So bringing your foot off of your leg, bringing that left leg back to the center, neutrally rotating it and sitting it back down to the floor. Shaking your legs out. Come back up to the top of your mat. Inhale, arms forward and up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Step it back, downward facing dog. Inhale, forward to plank. Again, we're going to sit our right knee down to the floor. And then, just like we did a little bit ago, we're going to bring our right foot out to the side like a little kickstand, and then come to our side plank with our bottom knee down. From here, lift your left leg up to hip height. Extend your left hand up overhead, outer upper arm wrapping in. You're going to backstroke this hand behind you as you bend your left leg and reach for the inside of your left foot with your left hand. So you're pressing your foot into your hand, and that's creating a back bend in your upper thoracic spine, but you're still spinning your inner left thigh back, lifting your front hip points up, so that the back bend is coming from our thoracic spine and our rib cage, not from your low back. One more breath here. And without it being like a slingshot, release your left hand. Coming back into that side plank. Lowering your left leg down. Bringing your left hand to the floor, stepping your right foot back. Plank pose. Other side. Left knee comes down to the floor. We're going to kick our left leg out. Spin to the inner edge of your right foot. Right hand comes up to the sky. Inhale your right leg up to hip height. Right hand reaches up by our right ear, outer upper arm wrapping in. We're going to swim this right hand back. Grab the inside of your right foot. Pressing your hand into your foot. Creating a little back bend here. But still lengthening your tailbone down towards the back of your right knee so that the back bend is coming from your thoracic spine. Hip points lifting up towards your low ribs. One more breath. Releasing your right foot, coming back into your side plank, lowering your right foot. Right hand to the floor, left foot comes back to meet it. Plank pose. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Breathing here. On your next inhale, hinge forward, back into plank pose. An option to place your knees back down to the floor here. But we're gonna press down to your right hand, roll it to the outer edge of your right foot, inner edge of your left foot, left hand up to the sky. Pressing down through that bottom hand, lifting up through your right armpit. You can stay right there, or option to lift your left leg up to hip height. Bring your knee in toward your chest, externally rotate it, and set that foot to the inner thigh, reaching your left hand up. Your foot is just lightly pressed to the inside of your thigh. We don't want to put any pressure on your knee here. One more breath. Coming back, nice and controlled to plank pose. Other side. Pressing down through your left hand, lift your right hand up to the sky. Hips stacked, one over the other. Outer edge of your left foot, inner edge of your right foot. Bringing your right leg up to hip height. Pulling your knee in toward your chest. Externally rotating that leg, bringing your foot to the inner left thigh. Hips stay lifted. Lifting your right hand, reaching it forward. One more breath. And then coming back, nice and controlled to plank pose. Inhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Your next exhale, gently bring your knees to the floor, toes into touch. Come into child's pose. Inhale, walking your hands in, come up to a seated position. Swing your legs around to one side. Sitting up nice and tall here in Tadasana. So legs are extended in front of you, toes and knees pointing up to the sky, inner thighs wrapping in, outer hips hugging in, sitting up nice and tall. So finding all four natural curves that we talked about in our spine. You can sit up on top of a blanket or a block, or maybe roll up the bottom of your mat if you're tight in your hip flexors and you have a hard time keeping your low back from rounding. Sitting up nice and tall. Exhale, hinging forward slightly from your pelvis. So the movement's coming from your pelvis tilting forward, not just rounding down in your back. Spine's long. And on your next exhale, you can soften forward. Inhale, sit back up. And then making sure there's enough room behind you, go ahead and lay down to your mat. Plant your feet flat to the floor, hips distance apart, feet parallel to each other. So your heel is right behind your second toe. Ankles right below your knees. Use your hands to clasp the outer edges of your mat, and then use that as leverage to walk your triceps under so that you're making space across your collarbone, and you can really press your outer upper arms down to the floor here. Exhale here, inhale, press evenly into all four corners of your feet to lift your hips up. So pressing down through your feet and the backs of your arms, lengthening your tailbone towards the backs of your knees as your inner thighs spin down towards the floor. Front hip points lift up toward your low ribs. Your back low ribs are lifting away from your sacrum, making space across your collarbone. One more breath here. And exhale, gently lower your hips back down to the floor. You can just bring your hands to your side and just windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Hug your knees into your chest here. Extend your left leg down your mat. Inhale here and exhale. Allow your right leg to come up and over across your body for a side twist here, keeping your right shoulder blade down on the floor. If this is too much, you can bend that bottom leg and have your hips and knees stacked. Inhale, unwind. Hug your left knee into your chest. Extend your right leg down the mat. Inhale here and exhale. Left leg comes over to the right. Left arm goes out to a T or a goalpost, twisting to the other side. Inhale, your left knee back up through center. Hug your right knee into your chest. And then find happy baby. So knees coming in towards your armpits. Lift your feet up like you were going to stand on the floor. So the soles of your feet are pointing upwards. Heels come over top of your knees. And then reach for the outer edges of your feet. Or maybe just your big toe. Or you can also have your hands behind your hamstrings here if that's more comfortable. But we want to make sure that your sacrum, that hard part at the bottom of your back, like just above your bum, is staying down on the floor. One more breath here. You can release your feet back down to the mat. And then make your way into Shavasana, final relaxation pose. So just find a comfortable position on your mat where you can get out any last minute fidgets. Allow your body to be heavy and your breath to be natural. We'll stay here for a few moments, just trying to intentionally clear our minds. You can stay here as long as you'd like. You can bring your awareness back to your breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes, inviting movement back into your body. Hug your knees into your chest. Pausing here for a moment. Gently roll to one side. And then use your top hand to press down into the floor and come back up to a seated position. Just find a comfortable spot on your mat. And a nice deep inhale. Reach your arms out and up overhead. Exhale, hands down through heart center. Thank you all so much for joining me this morning. I hope you enjoyed your practice. Namaste. Thank you. Have a good week.